Imagine the delight of biting into a slice of warm, freshly baked focaccia topped with your favorite pizza ingredients. Culinary Masterpiece is a fusion of two Italian favorites, focaccia bread and pizza toppings. Process is simple and requires only a brief waiting period for the dough to rise. The beauty of this recipe lies in its versatility. You can top your focaccia pizza with anything from pepperoni to thinly sliced vegetables. So, are you ready to create your own focaccia pizza masterpiece? To begin this culinary adventure, gather your ingredients. For the focaccia, you'll need 1 cup of warm water, a teaspoon of honey, 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast, 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of fine salt, and 6 tablespoons of olive oil. On to the toppings. Start with about 3/4 of a cup of your favorite pizza sauce. Then, get 6 to 8 ounces of fresh mozzarella cheese. Don't forget some freshly ground black pepper, and if you like a little kick, half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. To round it all off, you'll need 2 teaspoons of olive oil for drizzling, a 1/4 cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese, and about 24 small basil leaves. Remember, the best results come from quality ingredients, so choose wisely. With all these ingredients at hand, you're set to start the process. The journey to a mouth-watering focaccia pizza begins with the dough, so let's roll up our sleeves and get started. Things first, gather your ingredients. You'll need warm water, honey, active dry yeast, all-purpose flour, fine salt, and olive oil. If you have a stand mixer, fit it with the paddle attachment. If not, no worries, a large bowl and your hands will do just fine. Mix together the warm water, honey, and yeast until they're all chummy. Let this mixture stand for about 5 minutes. It's like a little spa break for the yeast. Next, add in 2 1/4 cups of the flour, the salt, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Mix these together to create a shaggy dough. Don't worry if it's not perfect, it's called shaggy for a reason. You're using a stand mixer, switch to the dough hook at this point. If not, keep going by hand. Add enough of the remaining half cup of flour to create a sticky dough. Mix or knead this for about 3 to 4 minutes. Remember, the dough should be sticky, so try not to add too much flour. Grease a large bowl with a tablespoon of olive oil and place your dough in it. Cover it and let it rise until it's doubled in size. This should take about an hour. Your dough is having a nap, add the remaining 3 tablespoons of olive oil to a rimmed baking sheet. When the dough is ready, place it in the pan and let it rest for 15 minutes. This relaxes the dough, making it easier to stretch and form to the pan. Gently stretch the dough to fit the pan, cover it loosely and let it rise for 20 more minutes. Meanwhile, position a rack in the center of your oven and preheat it to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. With the dough resting, it's time to prepare your topping choices. But remember, the beauty of pizza is personalization. So whether it's pepperoni, ground meat, sliced olives, or thinly sliced veggies, the choice is all yours. Just try to limit the number of toppings to 4, excluding the sauce and cheese, to maintain a balanced flavor. This focaccia pizza is so filling, it makes a perfect dinner. While the dough is proofing, seize the moment to prepare your toppings. The beauty of pizza lies in the ability to customize it to suit your palate. So let's dive into the world of toppings. Whether you're a fan of classic pepperoni, ground meat, sliced olives, or thinly sliced veggies, the choice truly is yours. But remember, the key to a fantastic pizza is balance. Too many toppings can overwhelm the flavors and make the pizza soggy. So we suggest limiting your toppings to 4, excluding the sauce and cheese, to maintain that perfect harmony of flavors. Next, you'll want to portion your toppings. For our pizza, we'll need about 3/4 of a cup of pizza sauce, 6 to 8 ounces of fresh mozzarella cheese, and a sprinkle of freshly ground black pepper. If you like a bit of heat, add half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. With your toppings all prepped, you're ready for the final steps. Now comes the moment of truth, baking your focaccia pizza. The dough, perfectly risen and dimpled with care, waits in anticipation. The oven, preheated to a toasty 450 degrees Fahrenheit, is ready for the transformation to begin. Start by gathering all your toppings. The pizza sauce, fresh mozzarella cheese, freshly ground black pepper, and if you fancy a bit of spice, some crushed red pepper flakes. Remember, the beauty of pizza lies in your own personalization. So if you have your own favorite toppings, now is the time to bring them out, but keep in mind, less is more. Limit the toppings to 4, excluding the sauce and cheese, to maintain a balanced flavor. Now on to the baking. The dough, laden with your choice of toppings, is transferred to the oven. The initial bake is brief, just 10 minutes. This is what we call par baking. It's a process that partially cooks the dough, allowing for a crispier crust later on. The 10 minutes, the par-baked focaccia emerges from the oven, its surface bubbling and golden. This is when the transformation truly begins. Evenly spread the pizza sauce over the surface, followed by the mozzarella cheese, freshly ground black pepper, and those optional crushed red pepper flakes. Focaccia pizza then makes its return journey to the oven. This time it will bake until the cheese melts into oozy goodness, and the crust turns a deeper shade of golden brown. This could take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, depending on your oven. Once the timer dings, remove the pizza from the oven and let it cool on a rack. Drizzle with some olive oil for an extra touch of richness, sprinkle with freshly grated Parmesan cheese, and scatter fresh basil leaves evenly over the pizza. The aroma of basil and melting cheese fills the air, signaling the completion of your culinary masterpiece. And there you have it, a beautifully baked focaccia pizza, fresh out of the oven. Before you dig in, let's add a few final touches. Your focaccia pizza is almost ready for the grand reveal, but first let's give it a drizzle of rich olive oil. Adds a beautiful sheen and brings out those delicious flavors. We're grating some Parmesan cheese. Sharp, salty notes of Parmesan are the perfect counterpoint to the mellow flavors of the focaccia and the pizza toppings. Now for the piece de resistance, we're scattering fresh basil leaves all over the pizza. Fragrant, peppery notes of basil are going to elevate this pizza to new heights. Can use whole small leaves or cut larger ones into thin ribbons. Remember, the basil is not just garnish, it's an integral part of the flavor profile, and there you have it. The final touches to your focaccia pizza are complete. Now your masterpiece is complete. Slice, serve, and enjoy your homemade focaccia pizza. So you've just created an authentic fusion of two Italian favorites. This focaccia pizza recipe, with its simple process and minimal kneading, is a true testament to the beauty of Italian cuisine. You've seen how a few basic yet flavorful toppings can transform a humble focaccia bread into a sumptuous pizza. Remember, the beauty of this dish is in personalization, so don't hesitate to experiment with your preferred toppings next time. Thank you for joining this culinary journey. Until next time, happy cooking!